Mariachi Sinclair is a joke that's extremely funny in your head, then when you say it, you stutter over yourself and everyone looks at you like you just talked about how tasty babies are, so you go back to never saying anything ever, but even though this is transformed into a traumatic experience, you still think the joke is really funny. Mariachi Sinclair's Skill 1 has the most sinking potency application of any Skill 1 in the game. 4. I start with this because when it comes to strength, this is the only positive thing you'll be hearing about him. Some people might mock his weakness, but all strength is transient. In due time, the strongest ideas of today will be weak tomorrow, empires fall, dynasties rise, but Mariachi Sinclair is eternally garbage. Did you know? These numbers are abysmal. I'm sure you did. 8, 8, 19. Okay, the skill 3 isn't that bad, actually. A floor of 8 is pretty good, especially when the other skills roll in the level of Shelter. Also, he's a -3 offense level. Conditionals are great, and Mariachi has them, but he needs them to keep up with what your average 2 stars rolling by default. Speaking of conditionals, the one in Mariachi's pocket are especially peculiar. A normal is synonymous with good in this instance. ID would have their conditionals be on use, however Mariachi's aren't. This means that the game is always checking to see if it's fulfilled, so if you reduce the target's sinking, usually by spending all of their count, below the conditional line, you lose the coin power. But this also works in reverse. His skill 1 gains 1 coin power when the target has 4+ sinking, and the first coin of said skill inflicts 4 sinking. Combine this together and on a target with no sinking, the first coin is +2, but the second, oh boy, the second is +3. His skill 1 goes from 14 raw damage to 15. My tone is mocking, but I'm not being ironic when I say that this is really cool. Changing coin power mid-skill has never been utilized as a central part of Identity's core, so seeing a tiny glimpse of what could be adds some flair to his kit. Not that this kit is lacking flair in any way. No other ID in the game allows you to beat people to death with maracas, and despite what the council may tell you, the radical skull light mask thing is actually present in his kit. There. Did you see it? Here, let me make it easier. Yeah. It may be about as obscure as a cryptid, but it is there. Someone clearly cared about this ID, cared enough to have his skill 2 leave an enemy with exactly 4 sinking for the conditional on his skill 1, for starters. There's even a theoretical game plan built into him. Dodge enough attacks to build up poise count, so on skill 3 you get that mythical 30% damage on crit, and to ensure that crit, use sinking to lower the enemy's SP so that your odds increase. Yet, you may run into the slight problem of single coin skills doing 0 damage, and the SP conditional obviously not working on enemies without SP, which is a lot of them. Still, Mariachi Sinclair is wonderful aesthetically and an interesting idea mechanically, one that I'd like to see revisited, as Lannister's skill 2 doesn't roll an 8.